Welcome to a special video of the devil. Ignore the sounds. Uh, I am backseating. I'm GunghoDynamo, and Ink is the
Heidi Ho.
player.
Heidi Ho again. I'm Inktonic.
Yep. So this is the demo of a indie game of essentially cyberpunk Phoenix Wright solving crimes, and it is just a really charming visual novel that I am excited for looking forward to the full release of.
I, in particular, am going into this completely blind. I woke up this morning, I got a message that we should try out this game. I browsed the Steam page while I was making my matcha. Let's get into it. Push it down.
So this is you.
Okay. Rain sizzles off neon above me. The summer shower creates a noted uptick in the flickering of holograms down the street. And a slight blunting of the night's ambience. Emphasis on slight. Lights, camera, constant noise. This city's got insomnia with the uneven heart rate to prove it. There's no escaping the second-hand nervous energy of it all, but I'm plenty acclimated. Just a wave of worries cresting on the surface while I hold my breath deep below. Besides, a microdose of nightlife anxiety suits my mood just fine. Because if I'm not careful, this client of mine's gonna die in jail. It's hard to get away with murder these days. People are still presumed innocent, at least on paper. But by the time they're in cuffs, there's hardly any shadows of doubt left. Because this whole world's lit up, mapped out, never unknown and always on. Whether it's incandescent, or neon, or hollow, whether it's LCD, LED, or just the nearest phone screen, there's light shining on every last pixel of the map. And someone's always watching. Solitude's a rarity, anonymity is scarce. And criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. So you take whatever clients you can get. They don't bulk at public defender work no matter the hour. Should you find yourself in one of the last dark, quiet corners left in the whole world, well, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Not that there's much else I can do until...
Counselor, your public defense contract has been approved. You are expected at the 254th precinct. Present your ID at the door to enter. Arrive at least 15 minutes early.
I'll try. Looks like the paperwork came through. It's nearly 3:15 now. 90 minutes since I took the job. Probably makes it about 2 hours since they finally got smart enough to ask an employer. If they're really smart, they'll have to get used to that time to get some rest. Because now that I'm here, things are going to get busy.
Episode 0.
Wow, this episode's so riveting.
I know, right? I mean, it is loading.
I need to click on the text. Fuck off.
I was gonna say, are
I'm
you gonna...
mashing my mouse. What the fuck? You shall hear.
The Lord?
I'm trying to keep my mouse out the way. Precinct 254. It's a goddamn ghost town. There's nothing but a hologram for a homecoming party. I'm here hear about a homicide. High clearance rates are damned. I think they treat it with a little more gravitas. But whatever, if I'm that important, they got no right to complain if I take my sweet time getting checked in. And I should take my time. Information's like cash in my line of work. You gotta spend it to make it. And if you're flat broke, no one gives a shit what you have to say. So let's see if I can't poke around and shake some change loose. That's use mouse to look around for points of interest you can click on, or press space to find them automatically, or credit for them. Credits fill the measurement for information gatherings. Don't go broke.
You have to look for hint coins, Luke.
High traffic hallways, utilitarian furnishing, multiple screening stations. Dramatic brutalism, stuff textbook can teach freshman level architecture. You can almost hear the building drone on about concrete, iron, concrete angles. Civil planning equivalents of battle scars. A fight won so long ago that they're starting to look ridiculous. I'm sure it was all very imposing back when it was built. Walking in here now with the crime rates where they are, feels like a hospice ward for heavy-handedness. An actual police lineup. It's like I walked into a museum. The museums tend to feel expensive and clean. Dusty, forgotten, probably lost in boxes. This homicide department's more like an attic. Hard to believe they were ever so busy that they had witnesses making IDs in the lobby. Then again, it's hard to believe they were ever doing lineups in the first place. Are you certain? Wasn't it dark? Did you know that during traumatic events, memory formation is blah blah blah? Poking holes in that setup must have been like shooting fish in a barrel, and all during billable hours. But there's no room to sow any doubt anymore. Not when a modded witness can just submit their testimony as a video recording. Assuming their phone didn't automatically file a police report for them. The medium's cracked in the corner. Looks bad, but my phone's made of the same stuff, and I'm rolling the dice every time it falls off the sofa. Could probably know the warranty on one of these things without sneeze. At least it's not broken. Entirely. Even at this hour, it's still dutifully scrolling through its notifications. Looks like the usual 1-1 ratio of public health alerts and inoffensive pop culture trivia you can always get served at state buildings. But there's a few missing persons too. 1 year of silver plan coverage, courtesy of Caduceus as a reward for any. Silver's no joke. Family must be getting desperate.
So you're probably getting the vibe of this place.
Yeah. A data pad. Okay.
Oh.
Even sticks a giant like chop out of it.
Yeah.
Man, it tastes like blue raspberry. Even when there are more advertisements than the article, they can still be informative. In a flowery, roundabout, corporate propaganda sort of way. Not enough for articles being yet. Choose the proper takeaway after reading and your additional bonus credit too. Oh.
So wait, so essentially, what this whole thing is that there's two transportations. Like the canopy is like a giant overhead walkway, but then over time, the guy in charge of it got like arrested. Things went bad, so essentially that project had to get canceled. So now there's like another railway system trying to be going on that is trying to make up for the huge amount of debt that the canopy had made. Blah blah blah, lore. Councilman Long is an important name here, because that's essentially the man who's initially building the canopy.
Text startup Subterra.
Yep. And then, SpaghettiOs. We went over 3,000% over the budget.
Wow, city going over budget on shit that doesn't work.
It appears you have 0 free articles remaining this month. Please verify your account information in order to continue reading the stories that matter.
My face when I don't have Firefox. Ballsy of them, putting a paywall there. It vibrates from my wallet on having to read a word like aesthetical. Besides, I got the gist of it. Takeaways that the city will be focusing its efforts on. Fuck, I zoned out. Which one was it? I think it was the canopy, right? Because the Subterra just fell under. Yeah. There'll be increased scrutiny surrounding the canopy now that there's no plan B. It's a massive project with a massive budget, lines and pockets of a lot of people, big and small. None of them would appreciate that press at the moment, not when Councilman Long's already thoroughly chilled the waters.
Long man.
Alright. I've taken in all the scenery and learned as much as I can here. Time to get checked in. Good enough, fine. So far, so good.
Good morning.
Morgan, here for the public defender contract.
Could you please provide your name and... Great. Please stand still for a moment.
I wouldn't call Inktonic as charming, or like harmless. That's probably what the designers were aiming for. People don't mind if workers tech, so long as it never speaks out of turn.
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble placing you. Could you please provide your name and your date of birth?
So far, so good, was it? Say, why don't you just scan my ID card?
Great! Now, would you confirm your date of birth for me?
I didn't even bother asking! My birthday's on the damn ID card and my profile! You robot airhead to get this question wrong. No problem, my birthday's...
So you might want to look at the profiles.
What's my birthday?
Profiles. Morgan. Also look at that keychain of yourself.
I like how I was just kind of glitching out for a second. I like that. I'd buy that keychain.
Yeah.
Just fix. Likes puzzle smoking, wood furniture, distance commercial hairdressers, jogging, talent, fall asleep in any position. Coffee, decaf, and drink whiskey sours.
Gets it wrong anyways.
December 26th.
Perfect. Good morning, Morgan Counselor. Thank you for your timely arrival, and for taking on this public defender contract. If you're ready to speak to your client, you can proceed to Counseling Quarters 3C.
Is that what we're calling it now? You mean the interrogation room?
I'm sorry to have caused any confusion. My vocabulary is regularly updated to better reflect state standards.
Don't sweat it. I can't keep track of every new euphemism either. They call it the involuntarily wellness check whatever they like. Doesn't change the way it makes them feel, sitting in a stifled box of living animals. Nothing to say about their own reflections dully warped across gunmetal lawns.
Morgan Counselor, can I help you with anything else?
Because of what you read earlier, you've unlocked additional questions. Read and examine at every opportunity to build up your knowledge and get the most out of the questioning. I know the city's not terribly concerned with the lower wards, but this is a police station. Why is it so goddamn dusty?
This facility is currently undergoing renovations.
Since when? The 60s?
It has been 22 months since the last timetable was last updated.
You really don't see a lot of action around here, do they?
I'm sorry for any inconvenience you might have encountered.
I'm adaptable. What about you? We ever gonna fix that crack?
Thank you for asking. It has not interfered with my work.
Well, that's all that matters, right? What are you?
I'm a smart user interface, proudly sold by Noble Electronics. Thank you for asking. If you're interested, I can send you a link with information about our subscription packages. Should I send you a link with information about our subscription packages?
No. Sorry. That wasn't my question to ask.
Huh?
That'll be all, thank you.
You'll find the counseling quarters past our homicide detective's office, through the door to your right.
Thanks. But I think it's just me for now. So, you could go on breaks if you like.
Automated dependents do not take breaks, Morgan Counselor.
Then what were you doing before I walked in?
You'll find the counseling quarters office past our homicide detective's office. I am breaking down.
Through the door to the right, thank you. Ads only breaks. And they don't get my jokes. But it's usually the humorless types that are the most fun to mess with anyway. Chat, I think it's... Oh, there we go.
Wait, who bit the data pad?
I think there needs to be a loading icon.
It's going bad or something?
A voice. No, voice is coming down the phone.
Actually no, hold on. Go further actually.
Just click.
Yeah, just keep going. I'm trying to remember like who belongs to who.
Thank God I stopped for directions. Building this up, the desk could have just told me to follow the echoes. My voice sounds older, rougher, and decidedly low energy.
Appreciate you ring bat me. This could be you.
Never thought I try to be serious. While the other rings with fearful indignation.
It's not like you're... Oh wait, no, this is you. Dang it!
It's not like our just recorded anything. Definite perhaps. And this precinct, at this hour, it might be only two breathable. They might be the only two living, breathing people in the whole complex. How do I put my own monologue? Despite else would you bother to print all that out?
One document or 100 looks the same on the data pad. Anytime you question the suspect, they need to have a heavy file in hand. Makes them think you know him better than their priest, their mother, their
big brother.
I wasn't gonna say that.
So, how many of those sheets are blank then? No red carpet tonight, officers?
Oh. Sorry about that, ma'am. We don't keep many extra hands around these hours. Probably faster to let the desk handle an intake anyway.
But mostly cheaper. You the lawyer? I am. Morgan Esquire. Pleased to meet you.
Same here, counselor. Qasim London. And the ball of sunshine here is my partner, Farai Reyes.
What's shine? He certainly is.
Sorry if you were kept waiting. Chatter between me and the department has been hectic all night.
It's no trouble. Give me time to enjoy my cigarette. Tobacco? What are you eating? She can't be more than a few years younger than me.
We're, the detectives in charge of this peculiar case. And it looks like tonight we're also your humble guides to the illustrious homicide department. Apologies in advance for any cobwebs.
Pretty sure I've seen us wandering here in the courthouse. Never struck me as more than just some old-timer. But I suppose being an old-timer is an accomplishment in and of itself in this profession. Sunshine is definitely in your place, though. Reggie, sure, and her attitude. Her uniform to dinner sure still loves iron. Actually promoted, maybe? Two whole detectives working at these hours? Sounds serious. Unless you were just the first to arrive.
No. We're not nearly that timely. Uniforms responded to the emergency calls within a few minutes.
Horrible. Like emotion. Around, think we're the first to arrive for any.
She's not wrong. We were only tapped after circumstances at the scene indicated involvement with an ongoing investigation.
Our ongoing investigation. Our soulish. I made a swap by this
Hey, get off me!
Just like, so sorry, your jacket looks like cotton candy.
Morgan's secretly a vampire.
So you suspect that this crime of mine is involved in some sexual criminal activity?
Wait. Did they really not? No, I guess they wouldn't put a public defender's briefing. Put it in the public defender's briefing. Look, consider this a professional courtesy. A fair warning, yeah? That's the Heartbreak killer in that room.
We got faster death rights. So if you're kind, I'll complete it out. You're smart. You'll have to shitstorm onto some other night owl and go back to bed. I'm not feeling particularly kind or smart at the moment. So perhaps in the meantime, you'll be so polite as to fill me in about this Heartbreak killer. They cover utilities at the rock you live under.
You're seriously not familiar with HK.
Never heard of them. Last year all over this thing for weeks. Their crimes delivering between breaking news and urban legend.
Get a little closer.
They presume goals flip-flopping from
Oh no, we're losing you.
Shit. Am I like really that low now?
A little. There's just a lot of background noise all of a sudden.
I don't know. It's quiet as hell. Wait, is it my? It could be my laptop fan.
Oh no.
Look, this. Oh yeah, that is hot. Oh well. Then you need machine kit. Makes my PC looking more than this.
Alright.
We'll just have to deal. Street corners, in the media, on the net. Everyone's talking about except-minded armchair detective speculation that we can't stand. Right now, I need to figure out exactly how much the police do or don't know. When it comes to the cops, I always get better results playing dumb than exactly. I take it he's a repeat offender? Was it the killer part that tipped you off?
You must have at least heard about his MO. Media's gone crazy about it.
Along with everyone else.
One bullet. Straight through the heart. Body left to lie where it falls.
hence the name Heart. Not exactly creative. It has the smell of every other Adventure Report article out there. Can't use Trump's originality.
What you won't read about online is that all 6 of HK victims were shot by the same gun, without needing to reload.
Horrible to say, I know, but 6 for 6? That's pretty good shooting, isn't it? Hitting the bullseye at a shooting range is good shooting. Doing it 6 times in a row is great. But shooting 6 people with accuracy like that?
It's a whole different beast.
Takes a certain kind of monster. A real freak. This pulse probably didn't even try. I see. You almost make him sound like a machine. Is it possible that... No, it is not. There's no such thing as killer robots, madam. Of course, my mistake. So, all those androids marching in the military, those robots patrolling in police uniforms, those drones dropping fireballs from the sky. I guess they're all firing blanks.
Fair enough. Machines can kill, and they have been for decades. But they don't commit murder.
Right.
Evil like Heartbreak is all organic.
That's a pretty terrifying thought. I should really start paying more attention to it. Oh, I managed. It's not nervous.
Well, you can only blame yourself for missing 5.
You're still not getting yet? HK6 was found a few hours ago. When we caught the son of a bitch red-handed. So you're convinced that my client is this Heartbreak killer, and tonight was just his latest crime. That's a serious accusation with very serious consequences. I take it you have serious evidence to back that up? I was being literal, counselor. Red-handed. When we found your client, he was covered in her blood. Oh, that's not good, is it? What you say certainly sounds compelling. Is that lawyer talk for open and shut? But even if that's the case, how does one crime scene make it look good for 6 murders?
It's all there in the Discovery files. And the ARCs, of course. Join the local now on your phone and we'll turn over everything you need.
Thanks for that, detective. I'll be sure to read it over. But if it's all the same, could I ask you two some questions while I got you here?
No.
How kind of attorney wants to interrogate a detective? This kind of attorney. You're just that pleasant.
Come on, Sunshine. Not like we're gonna be punching out anytime soon, right?
Whatever. Let your clients stew an interrogation all night for all I care. You mean the counseling quarters?
We're at your disposal, counselor.
Baron Stark and uninviting. This must be the raised desk. Keeping your workstation neat and tidy, but it can't spot a single note of personalization. She's so new that she hasn't had time to unpack. Or is she really that uptight in the morning? Well, maybe. Loose wires, missing panels, and an aircon system that probably sweats more than people supposed to cool. No room in the budget for making the office not look like shut up. I expected to find a lot of belt tightening on homicide. I didn't think your operation would be this bare bones. We got a stunning clearance rate and they work fast. Guess the city sees that and just assumes their job is easy. Maybe their job is easy, what with our gear-doting surveillance state eliminating so much non-footwork. But if your wheels don't squeak, you don't get your palms greased. So, homicide ends up as the only State Department with
So all my homies end up here.
Dumping grounds for the police force's most unambitious and least popular. Ooh, another blue raspberry!
Why are you biting that?
Latest novel androids. Should I read this out loud? Maybe you should do that.
You don't have to. These are pretty long, and just really remember the highlighted stuff that they conveniently highlighted. So Noble Electronics is a really big distributor of most of the tech you see around here. There's a fly near my microphone.
First generation androids featuring different components, increasing its cost protection versus and this shit's about to be Detroit become human, huh?
Yep.
Want a break from the ads?
Hey, fam.
He's in the news. It's no wonder I can't spit without it landing on cases of illegal days. Especially now where the state's involved. Don't also bite when it comes to farming, because no, government use they're just
Too expensive.
just too expensive to justify. Wait, what am I thinking?
Oops.
No state had a problem with spending money on a price. Wait, what? Like, if they don't like the maintenance, or is it because like, they're too frail and cost the maintenance?
They're too frail. Because the thing is, like, oh yeah, they're expensive to upkeep because they keep getting damaged. It's like, oh my, like that's a double whammy.
I hate like questions like those and like give an answer like that.
Also, check out the phone because like there is gonna be like you do have like some new terms and stuff.
Oh boy.
Like the reading list. Well, these are just like.
I like that stick keychain just bugging the fuck out over there.
Yeah, but essentially this is just like your glossary for like later reference. But you do have new profiles though.
Alright. Occupation criminal, likes killing, dislikes getting caught. Favorite color, probably red. Zodiac sign, probably not into astrology. Reward, suspended due to influx of false reports. Market, date of birth March 15th. Plus, constitution, plus, likes photography, dive bars, things. Dislikes, ties, fallen, after hours work messages. Listens to podcasts, hobbies, pencil sketching, and frequently running links. Third class, likes rice, wines, automotive. Dislikes large, small plates, cheap. Enjoys watching product reviews, bad at Game of Chance, right eye, Cyrus Lee 86. Yep, no evidence. Lots of active. Oh, this is just the lot.
Yeah. And then there's those, so to the right of Reyes' desks, all those like sticky notes there.
Yes?
No, to the right of Reyes' desk. Like,
Oh, the desk.
like all the way to the right. Man, can you not click on all those like notepads there?
Nope. I mean, I don't see anything.
Like those orange squares on like on the wall. Like to the right of the keyboard.
Where I'm circling, right?
No, not in the middle. To the right.
Right. Oh, is that up there?
No, down. Man, it's so hard to signify this. So like, Reyes' desk is the desk closest to you.
Right. This.
I guess that then, yeah. I guess I was wrong.
You had me like thinking I was like trying to like hug the wall. You shouldn't have cleaned up so much just for little old me detective. Someone really needs to introduce this problem. Really just a stapler. Paper document, just on a lazily beside actual photographs. Either he's really old fashioned or really paranoid with data leaks. It doesn't look like the side. Well, orderliness aside, some things are better in paper. I'll give it that. Okay. Nothing else jumps out at me around here. I got a better idea of who I'm dealing with at least. Now I need to check out the crime scene data. I should have been sent to Link.
Oh, you have been granted access to good save files. Reply C to confirm. You need to reply C in order to confirm. I'm an automated dependent.
Answer usually right.
Our personalities are tailored to suit our users' preferences.
So the state likes you to be a little authoritarian.
You need to reply C.
C.
It's case sensitive.
C!
Thank you. Link.
Alright, if I can check on my phone.
Yo, Valve is working on a non-Half-Life VR game that could be Half-Life 3.
Yo, the real scene of the time was the stop Unity cube.
Anyways, you can look around. I'm kidding. I lied.
It's just loading. I think like in any future release of this game, it just needs to be a loading icon.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what they think is important. The victim's body. Cause of death, ballistic trauma, class, or blood loss, featuring etc. Single gunshot wound to the heart, brief, deathless. No injuries anywhere else. No blood or skin under her nose. Blood splatter, forensics, and all that other good stuff tells me that she was shot from there. So the killer was standing in the doorway when they obviously fired. But a stand-up mirror, shattered and knocked over. Steel glass, no screens or cameras here. It was hit hard enough to come unattached from his arm, while shards of glass were scattered, far enough to land on the victim's body. What a mess. Okay, so the glass landed on the victim's body. I wonder if that's just gonna be like a thing to come up later on.
Yo, what's this thing? A gun?
Seems like this face got tossed aside at some point. And yet there's not a scratch on it. Must be pretty damn durable. Isn't art supposed to be delicate? Maybe it's making a statement. The murder weapon. Revolver found right next to the body. 6 empty casings found in each of the 6 chambers means the gun's been fired 6 times. Looks like the crime scene practically disassembled the damn thing. But all they found were fingerprints belonging to my client. So he was found by the police with the murder weapon right in front of the body. I don't even know where to start. Highly prejudicial would be an understatement. That's all the big ticket items. What about the security? Looks like the apartment was unlocked all night. It's not uncommon for people their age in a neighborhood like this. No signs of forced entry only hurts my client's face. What about the rest of the room? There's not much else flat here. Just a lounge chair that got thrown and whatever that is. Unidentified ceramic debris? Flag as irrelevant. That's their technical assessment? Guess even the crime scene techs weren't sure what to make of it. Okay. Everything the police highlighted. But did I miss any? Let's...
Nah, there's...
Oh, ah! Something in the victim's hand? How the hell did... It's just a pallet organizer.
Now, let's just picture this here. Go through left to right what the days are.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, the fact that Thursday is represented with a T, that both the Sundays and Saturdays are represented with just an S. It's weird. You said it's an M for mini, you gotta set it to Wumbo.
Looks like some immune adjusters. Chip reacts synthetic blue curve. Words I can't pronounce medication. Taken daily to reduce rejection symptoms like phantom pain and generalized itch. The autopsy said her talk screen is clear, but it's not like it matters. She could have swallowed every medicine cabinet in the city and it still wouldn't change the cause of death. It's odd, but ultimately irrelevant. Everything else here is all very incriminating. But the kicker's everything that's not here. No out-of-place DNA, footprints, crumbs. Nothing that points towards anyone except my client. Well, I've done more with us before. But not much more.
Also, the fact that like things on your computer are called cookies, so smaller versions are just crumbs in this universe.
Okay, that's cute. I'm really gonna have to sink my supper this time. Better get started. Who the hell's messaging me at this time of night? First person it comes to mind is... I suppose it could be something important.
Red!
What couldn't wait till morning?
Good news, of course. I'm texting with Brat. Got a job for you.
That's a pretty cheery way to tell me you violated parole.
Lol, not that kind of job. Besides, I've been covering my tracks. This is something different. Kind of thing I can't handle with just a keyboard and phishing scheme. I need you to sue me, gym teacher.
I'm sorry.
Hey, at least let me finish.
What did they do?
Make me run laps.
Not illegal.
Let me finish. It made me run laps. Even though I said I had a stomach ache.
Sad.
It's gotta be like youth endangerment, deprived indifference, or some kind of shit.
Sounds like you've already got a strong case. Try self-representing time.
What's with the blow-off?
Nice phrasing!
Oh wow, I'm laughing so hard right now. See?
Why does that remind me of like that one meme where it's like a text message chat, it's like phone apple tea, and the guy just sends like a reaction pic that's just his dad's mugshot. Is that your mugshot?
I wasn't gonna not get a copy of my mugshots. And use it as a reaction.
You found a use case. But I'm working right now, so...
Anything cool?
Homicide.
Oh, cringe. Wait, what kind of homicide? Is it HBK?
Is that the kind of morbid things your kids your age talk about?
Teens my age. And yeah, we can read. Kinda compared to the corrupt shit in the headlines. Old-fashioned murder like HeartDB is like... quaint.
It's Heartbreak.
Then why did you take the job, though? You see the 98% conviction rate as a challenge or something? You taking up lost cause, prob nose work?
It's pro bono.
That was autocorrect.
You know they give lit homework for a reason, right?
This is borderline concerned nagging. Maybe you really are bleeding hearts. Or just a sucker.
I'm not a sucker.
Nice phrasing, Lol.
You should go to bed, Fran.
Tomorrow's Sunday, I can stay up if I want.
Tomorrow is Sunday. Because today is Saturday.
What's with the carpe diem shit?
It's nearly 4 a.m., kid. You got school in like 3 hours.
Shit.
Repeat offenders may be good for business. Kids bad for my blood pressure. Important text message, I take it? Just your typical teenage drama. So then, if you wouldn't mind filling me in on a few details. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that you're light on staff. It's 3 in the morning, and we're expecting a parade. I thought there'd at least be a few androids around.
Aren't many androids in any police station this week. Not while the brass is renegotiating contracts.
Contracts with Noble?
Good guess.
Hardly, they're the biggest robotics corp there is. Could spend all day in some city without leaving their office's shadow. Yes, we're very fortunate to have them headquartered here.
Saves us some money on shipping at least. But these talks never last that long. I'm sure they'll be back to writing checks for Noble ads by the end of this month.
Even with Noble pushing those army androids. Look, you know, might as well call me a dope.
Might see him in the bigger departments or out on the patrol, but not around these offices. Warm or cold, there's no such thing as an android detective. Yet.
Guess we should be expecting those any day now.
Maybe android lawyers, too.
Get some android politicians in and we'll have a full set. Get real. People might like ads or to do what they're told, but they despise ads you tell them what to do.
I'm not so sure. Cameras, sensors, satellites. We already got all of our facts from machines. Give it a few more years and it might make some sense to let machines do the investigating too.
The police union wouldn't let that happen. She didn't have specified. It's the only real union there is anymore. So, how about the basics? What exactly has my client been charged with?
Your client, Carlos Baker Flats, was arrested on the scene at 9:50 p.m.
Using his middle name already? You really do think he's a serial killer?
The charge is being first-degree murder of his girlfriend, a Miss Diane Dawn.
First degree? That's
Increasingly rare.
say the least. It's rare for us to get into anything but crimes of passion over here. The city's got damn near more cameras than people. So you gotta be really, really stupid to try and get away with murder. Well, Heartbreak's gotten away with it 6 times. So what's that make him? 5 times. That makes him insane.
I was gonna go with extraordinary.
Let's split the difference and say he's extraordinarily insane. But enough jobs like that aren't for now the fair ability to get. So what makes you think this was predetermined? Remediated.
Premeditated.
How come the fact that he stopped and killed 5 other women as a warm-up? Warm-up?
5 previous bullets. 5 previous victims. None of them knew each other, lived near each other, worked in the same fields. Weeks of digital autopsies crawling up and down their online profiles. Nothing.
So this serial killer chose his victims at random? And they have nothing in common. Yeah, nothing in common at all. Other than they look like Other than they all look like cousins.
The physical similarities are striking. All 5 prior victims were young women with brown hair and eyes, about the same height, comparable weight.
Those features aren't exactly uncommon. Couldn't it be a coincidence? If you really believe that, you should quit your job and start buying lotto tickets. HK's got himself a type. Anyone can see that. You really gonna try and tell me you don't see the resemblance? A young woman, brown hair, brown eyes. You can tell how tall she is from the portrait that I can see. So you think, what exactly? That Carlos Flag wanted to kill his girlfriend so badly that he went out and shot 5 other women first? Hey, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits? Then you put the shoe on the...
What sunshine means is that it's not uncommon for killers to displace their violence from people close to them onto outlets with fewer consequences.
Checkers, loaners, strangers, workers.
He was probably building up the nerve for tonight by practicing on the other, similar women.
Or he's just so far gone that he can't tell the difference anymore. It's not the worst theory in the world, but it doesn't fit. They want to claim that those previous victims were practiced. dress rehearsals for tonight's main event. But if that were the case, there have been signs of hesitation, nerves. There have been mistakes. Top of which, guns are in person. Execution shots even more so. There's no sadism or hatred and intimacy in a single bullet to the heart. Killing your girlfriend or her lookalikes usually is, if nothing else, a lot less sterile, if you ask me. I saw the time of death was 9 p.m. on the autopsy, but do you have a timeline for the rest of the night's event? Can't trust much of what comes out of his mouth, but we've managed, thanks to less spy sources.
And we're pretty confident about what we've been able to piece together from their statements.
So they interviewed witnesses? Sounds fairly similar to real police work. The suspect and his girlfriend were arguing loudly with one another starting around 8 p.m.
Neighbors were very clear about that part. Couldn't wait to tell us about the happy couple's domestic problems.
Everyone in the building knew they'd been fighting for weeks.
As you probably gathered from what you saw in the arcs, there was struggle. Furniture turned over, glass shattered. But things go quiet sometime before 9 p.m. And then there was a gunshot.
Scrubbers are still scrubbing, looking for audio from the area to get a timestamp. But we heard from enough concerned citizens to be pretty damn sure about the time.
Right. Emergency services got a burst of calls coming from the block shortly after 9 p.m. No one seemed to recognize the sound for what it was. But the silence that followed was pretty universally alarming.
Officers arrived on the street at 9:08 p.m., established a perimeter, entered through the open front door at 10 p.m., and then they find your client crouched over his dead girlfriend, his hand covered in her blood, at which point they moved to secure the scene and the suspect. Sorry, did you say his hand singular?
Your client's modded cybernetic right arm.
How modded are we talking about here? Registered with HAL 85 Halibus. Industrial grade looks like. Says he's spec for dexterous manipulation of up to class 4 kPa, which means a minimum grip strength of, well, basically, he could crush your neck without even gritting his teeth.
She's Sans.
I am now Sans Undertale, go
Look
into my eyes.
Because earlier, when there was screens floating over, that was actually projecting from her eye, which is what you read in her profile. Like, it's a cybernetic eye, was what it is.
Considering a career change? No, it's not that. It's just your eye must be very sensitive for you to put the patch back on each time. And here I thought you just had 14-year-old sense of fashion. You think a cop would cover up her dominant eye because it was fashionable?
I don't know. Have you ever read Homestuck? I actually thought the same thing the first time we met.
You what?
But getting back on track, that arm of his has been in the shop for some time now. He can't work without it. Money got tight.
He arguing?
Yeah.
When did he put his arm in repairs?
8 days before HK's first victim was killed.
Well, no chance he'd be willing to chalk that up to coincidence.
Your client was arrested on the scene after a preliminary scan on his fingerprints on the revolver. Found his, and no one else's.
Correct revolver? What kind?
The old kind. The real old kind.
More specifically, a Calver M54, 6-chamber, 10mm. revolver. How retro.
You don't know the half of it. We're talking steel chamber, real gunpowder, mechanical firing pin, and no tags.
No tags? How is that? Just how old are we talking here?
Yeah, 24/7 location data, time-stamped trigger pulls, safeties coded to the owner biometrics. For the past 3 decades, tags made shooting crimes very unambiguous.
So you're claiming my client used some kind of antique to commit these crimes? How else do you think he'd have gotten away with this five other times? If he tried to buy the gun legit, he'd probably fail the very first psych check. And even jailbroken cases are only good for so long before an update withdrawal sets in. So then, M54, that's...
Model year 2054.
30-year-old gun. Well, that sure complements things, doesn't it?
Complicates.
Complicates?
Yeah, in some ways, sure. But pre-tagging firearms are rare. Gotta be less than 1,000 of them left in the whole country, and fewer still compatible bullets.
The ammunition would have to be over 30 years old too.
The novelty in his weapon has kept us in the dark so far. But now we have our hands on it. It's gonna put him away for good.
Archive department complained loud as hell about how deep they had to dig. But with the protocols they found, techs were able to match the rifling marks on all 6 bullets to the gun your client was found with. Rifling marks?
Bullets fired from guns are old, marked by the barrel's shape.
So if all 6 bullets had the same rifling mark, we know that they were all fired by the same gun.
It's not as plug and play as tags are, but it's equally precise science, I assure you. The circle goes in the square hole. And if it's not damning enough, the spent casings from the 5 other shootings are still in the chamber. The caliber your client was found with is the gun HK used to kill 6 women. No way to lawyer around that.
Untapped gun. Just being any real weapon that could injure or found by the police over a dead body with an untapped gun. 5 crime scenes is just... To summarize, then, you believe that my client fought verbally, then physically with his girlfriend, and then he retrieved this weapon and shot her. Yeah, pretty much. How did he look when the officers found him? Guilty. How was his affect? Quiet, detached. Yeah.
Not exactly the picture of a grieving partner.
A reaction that have lost the points of the cops. Beyond that, people react to loss in all kinds of unusual ways. So long as the police are suspicious and there's no right way to break. Checking my phone here, and I have to say, you've done a pretty admirable job keeping the details of HK's crimes a secret. The less reputable side's doing some real journalistic acrobatics trying to piece together a story. Yeah, top 11 theories on who hurt HK was a real weighty read.
Who hurt my HK Pookie Bear? It's not just journalists, though. All kinds have been emboldened. Those freaks at HK's managed to bring out of the woodwork in just a few weeks.
You believe them, though? I mean, he's a genuine serial killer. Repeat offenders in general are an endangered species, but he's gotten away with. We know what he's gotten away with. Take a look around the national DNA registries for blasts out that cases never been told, cameras on every street, phone on every citizen, violent crime at an all-time low and clearance rates at all-time highs. But you gonna spout some alt-pole bullshit about invasion of privacy? No, I'm not. People are safer now than any other time in history, detectives. So when someone like Heartbreak does come along...
Good point.
One is trying to look like he can block it off. The pressure from the higher-ups must be reaching its peak. They want, they need, to see someone charged. That. Take them home. Yeah, well, even if there's nothing standard about HK, the department SOP still dictates we starve the media for these details.
That way, when we do feed them, they're grateful for whatever scraps they get.
But we can't take all the credit this time. Homicide's tight-knit and tight-lipped, but it's not like there's much information for us to leak in the first place. And why is that? Because none of the shootings were caught on the optic crime surveillance system. How is that possible? I know that there are some rough areas and low reports, but optics is watching over every other street in the entire city. You're saying you haven't seen this killer on camera once? You think we'd have him left till... You think we'd have left till 6 people if we did?
I understand your concern, ma'am, but optics is only whatever it says in the name. Private surveillance systems signing up to feed into the state security network. It's not perfect, just another one of the many public safety tools in our belt.
It's meant to help us solve crimes, or at least act as a deterrent. One would hope so. Deterrents over wars and heartbeat. Anyone crazy or desperate enough to commit a crime in a city like this could care less about anything as vague as the consequences of their actions.
When will you learn that your actions have consequences? It's like a safety blanket, one with very few holes left in it. But it does have holes. Patching up those remaining holes takes effort, and that effort usually means rebooting the system. There's all kinds of technical details and digital bureaucracy involved. But the end result is that there are occasional localized blackouts. And the math used to schedule them is not impossible to predict.
But those windows of opportunity are small and short. Taking advantage of them requires specific knowledge. You need to be involved in law enforcement, up data, or data mention in compliance as a cop. You wouldn't have needed a public defender either. This file says he's lobbying for heavy mass manipulation, not tech interfaces. That just city clinic. So does he want construction for the city?
HK has only ever struck at times for locations where optics would be down. Even with the devil's own luck, can't possibly be coincidence.
Wait, so you're saying when this woman was killed, yeah, there was a blackout from around 8? Right on schedule, so to speak. And it included the area surrounding the victim's apartment. Well, what about DNA from the other crime scene? Was my client a match?
There's been no blood, no saliva, no suspect DNA at any of the crime scenes.
No footage and no forensics?
Also no motives, tampering, or witnesses. It's been like hunting a damn ghost. We didn't even have a murder weapon.
Until now. Finally, looking back at the voices.
Scanners, cams, drones, forensics. No matter how you dress it up with tech, all detective work relies on one basic assumption. People make mistakes. But HK is the kind of monster who doesn't make mistakes. Only reason we even caught him tonight was because he finished what he had set out to do all along.
So was my client on the list of suspects before tonight? Weren't you listening? There was no list of suspects.
We questioned some X's, a few CIs. Someone even spoke to one or two unlisted at some points. Nothing came out of it. There was talk about starting some kind of psych eval or something, but I never expected much to come out of that. There's just not enough to work with.
In other words, the only thing they have, only thing they could have, link my client to those killing systems and weapon. If I can jostle that keystone, the rest of their patients start to come loose as well. Thanks for the chat, detectives. I think I understand the background well enough now. Candidly, I see the same strokes you do, and the picture it paints isn't pleasant. But even so, it seems a bit unrefined to be brought before a judge, don't you think? Hey, it's only our job to catch the bastard. The DA is the one who gets the conviction. Besides, we're not exactly going to have to work hard to convince anyone of his guilt. And why is that? Because we found a handwritten confession at the desk. Well, that's, unexpected? I'm sorry, you're not telling me that he wrote a confession? Has it been verified?
Not yet. We have to muscle past everyone in fraud and disinfo to get to the front of that line.
My father, the note's covered in his fingerprints.
There's a copy in the discovery data, but I should warn you, it doesn't exactly make for light reading.
I'll have to manage somehow. I see his confession for myself.
Sorry for everything. Can't say it was enough. Didn't mean to hurt you or what I did. Did not sick any of it to happen. Can't stay in control when they get mad. When I'm not in control, I hurt people without meaning to. I wish I hadn't broken them. Didn't sick mean to at first, but I was hurting. Wanted you to hurt too, but I didn't want to hurt you. Words aren't enough. I know that now. I'll take responsibility and do what I've been avoiding. Please forgive me.
Fairly legible fact. Well, gotta spin on that. No need. But it's a confession. Not a confession that he's signed, though, is it?
Not yet.
And not one he intends to sign anytime soon, considering that he asked for representation. Yeah, that's the most wanted man in the city. Asked for a lawyer and got you. Guess you're both lucky. Hardly. I just happened to be awake when the call went out. But I'm not so flush with work that I can afford to turn tail now. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go and speak with my clients. What? He's not still handcuffed in there, is he?
Look, counselor, with all due respect, we have strong evidence pointing to that man being responsible for 6 murders. 2 hours or so in cuffs isn't cruel or unusual. And that's for your safety as well.
It's kind of this worry, but I doubt I'll be in any danger. He's killed 6 women. None of them were redheads. Seriously, though, I'd like to keep him alone now. Camera's off, don't mind.
Mic's on or off is your call, counselor. But we'll be watching the feed from right outside, in case anything happens. And the cuff, that is, stays on.
Is that worried about me? How chivalrous.
Yeah, my armor's practically blinding.
Gross. I'll start up the unlock cycle.
Counselor, just one last word of advice. If you have any interest in his well-being, I suggest you help him sign that confession.
Not a bad idea. I do get paid either way. But the defense part of defense attorney isn't just for show detective.
I mean it. 6 people dead is one thing, but he also caused weeks of widespread terror and public unrest. Putting it another way, he's made the state look bad. That's a capital crime, if there ever was one. And even if the death penalty is not actually on the table these days, I can guarantee he's not gonna like whatever rehabilitation plan they drew up for him. I don't know what happened to me.
I passed my curse of tripping over my words onto you.
Oh no, my tongue. Oh no, it's the tongue twisted disease. Look, I've seen the virtual work release program in person, and it's
being challenged before the Supreme Court.
Yeah, sometime in the next decade, maybe. Just remember, a plea deal might feel like a loss for you, but if it keeps him from, well, that'll probably be a win for your client, right?
Prison sentences are generally lighter for those guilty, that much is true. It saves the court a great deal of time and money. They show their gratitude with reduced sentencing. But no one left grateful for someone for killer.
I had a stroke.
Anyone convicted for killing 6 people, they'll never rest their mind another day in their life. You just hear like the AOL like boot up noise in her head.
Oh no, the cop androids were already being made. You have to click, remember? You.
It's depressing as hell in here. They need to liven this place up. That's flat, right? Hope you don't mind if I get comfortable. Well, we've got a lot of time. But this shouldn't take all night.
What are you... Look, I told you people, I didn't...
I'm not a cop. Furthest thing from it. I'm a lawyer. Your lawyer, in fact. And I'm here to help you.
Yeah, well... They said that too. All of them did. Back there and here, kept repeating the whole ride over. They said that they were going to help me, that they knew that this was all a mistake. Then they said that I killed. Acting like they were on my side, and they thought like I could have... That I...
It's not their job to help you, Carlos. But it is mine, and I'm here now. Don't shock. I need more information. If I approach this the wrong way, he'll just clam up even more. I'm sure you're exhausted. It's probably difficult to think, let alone speak. But I'd like you to try and answer a few questions.
The police already...
Questioned you, I'm sure. But they were treating you as a suspect, not as a client.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
starts simple, something mundane, grounded, rote. I'd like to know a bit more about you first, Carlos. Something like, what line of work are you in?
I'm with city engineering. Or I was, or I should be.
As I thought, the police must be convinced you mapped the optics blockouts using to get you stolen work.
My arm, I got it slotted for the job. And,
Carlos, gonna need more than that. So what do I know? He works in city engineering, at his job. Freya said he was modded for work. Arm. Must be in custody at the moment. With face on his shoulder, I'd have to be pretty...
utilitarian.
Utilitarian, yeah. He doesn't strike me as the type who's enamored with the aesthetics of modding. The young and the restless and the rich, swapping in neon and chrome limbs because they like the way it looks.
Everything is chrome in the future.
Or the way it makes other people start looking at them. Nah, he's pragmatic, grounded, and very unlucky. In which case, I should be too. You know, my brother wanted to mod.
Wait, really?
Really? I don't even have a brother. He had everything planned out. Whole career path of promotions and bonuses and the upgrades they'd afford him. Then came his 18th birthday present. Test results politely informing them that he's not a viable candidate.
That sucks.
I think he felt relieved, actually. Seemed like it was a weight off his chest. Like he was glad he didn't have to choose. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think it does. I always figured that if I'd start small. A hand or an eye. Test the water. Never thought about lobbing my whole damn arm off, but the recruiter was enthusiastic. He said, because of the NCDA, there was a financial aid and resources. Of course, that got shit-canned, and now every other modder is royally screwed. Could even let me keep the tax credits.
The new Citizens with Disabilities Act wasn't that good if not replaced. But I doubt you appreciate the distinction at the moment.
I worked with the tighter spaces, the high-volt environments, mostly canopy upkeep. Typical stuff for modders, you know?
He's speaking freely now. Don't need to do much more than repeat his words back to keep him talking. But the right word choice here or there can still make a difference. You work on the canopy. You must be... You must be under a lot of pressure now that the subways are cordoned off.
Damn straight. And with this crap with the long. Once word got out that the case was against him, was real, every desk job in the chain became terrified of their own shadow. And all of them convinced that internal affairs is going to come knocking if they misplace so much as a paperclip. Everything by the book means no room for compromise, no room for problem solving.
No room for engineering?
Yeah. And no patience for screw-ups.
He's trying very hard not to look at his shoulder. Why aren't you wearing your prosthetic arm now, Carlos?
Yeah, that. Rejection issues, starting last month. A lot of sleepless nights.
Rejection? Did the therapy not take?
It's not like that. I wasn't using pus on my sockets or anything.
Then, do these rejection issues have anything to do with your scars?
Not in the way they're thinking. I'm right-handed.
So those cuts on his face are just from shaving?
Never thought it'd go this long. I'd have to relearn how to do everything. I mean, the problem started small, trembling, but then spasms. Just oversensitivity, they said. An easy fix.
But the problem got bigger.
Couldn't let it get that far. Needed to be able to trust your own hands when you're on the job site. Drop a cutter down the wrong moment and people could get hurt. So I sat down, made an appointment, turned in my arm, and watched my case get placed at the back of the damn line.
Where did you turn it up?
Some mass turnaround chop shop with a waiting list like you wouldn't.
That doesn't sound like you're a happy customer.
Hell no! I found a dozen other clinics with shorter wait times. But as long as I'm renting and not owning.
The manufacturer decides whether your arm gets maintenance.
That's why I'm sitting here with this expensive ass stump for a shoulder. I haven't been able to work in weeks. Bosses were generous enough to say my position might still be there when I got to working arms again.
You couldn't buy or rent a replacement yourself, just in the meantime?
I serve at the pleasure of the state. And they've got exclusivity contracts with Hindi, all locked up white knuckle tight.
Hindi. Out Industries? As I recall, he's registered with one of their Habilius models.
If I took one step on site with uninsured tech, forget the fines, I'll lose the down payment and my arm. And I'd never work in this city again. If this was the last quarter, maybe I could have worked something out with management, but like I said, no one's sticking their neck out for anyone now that longs in hot shit.
You mentioned discomfort. Are you in pain?
Pain will come and go. It's the itches that'll kill ya. And the phantoms come back pretty fast when I don't have anything arm-shaped attached to me.
And they give you something to, well, wear in the meantime? Something the clinics lend out for cases like this?
What they gave me was a dead-weighted, 3-jointed landfill bait piece of shit. Sorry, it's just... It's a very shitty feeling having part of your body that you know that they cut corners on. It fits, it's compatible, technically. I can slot in and feel on balance again. But the fingers don't even bend and the quick twitch motors are way off. It's like walking around with your arm asleep, dead.
So, were you wearing it when... I think this is a better question to ask. That's about as subtle as a sledgehammer. I can be a little less blatant than that. Were you wearing it when you were arrested?
Yeah, I don't think asking that if you were wearing your arm when your girlfriend was killed is a good question.
Hey, anyways, like, were you wearing your, like, stupid fucking arm when your, like, girlfriend was killed?
Yeah, instead like, oh, were you wearing when you were arrested? Instead, like, don't remind him. No, I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I saw people bagging it as evidence, so... Can't have gotten too far.
So, Detective Reyes was being quite literal about how he was found. He had the victim's blood on his left arm only, because at the time in question, he didn't even have a ring. No inconsistencies in the story, so are, and he's opened up about as well as expected. But this has all just been a warm-up for the both of us. Now comes the delicate. Carlos, you and the victim were romantically involved. How long did you know each other?
Right. I've known her since college. We shared a few classes, some mutual friends. Always got along. Eventually, we just got together at some point. Guess I never actually asked her out in the real formal way. Sounds pretty cowardly, saying that out loud. Diane, she was in genetics, focused on their studies on agriculture.
It always takes a few tries to be able to start using fast ones.
Just finished her post-grad work this year. Got hired straight out the gates. Practically headhunted. You believe that? Practically headhunted. Of course she was. Any company would be lucky to have her, unlike... It was a real-ass job. Paid real-ass money, too.
So her career was starting to pan out, right as yours had fallen into the father of all slumps. Where was she hired?
Pedigree? No. Perigee Laboratories. I say I like the name matters, but the whole setup's under Harco's umbrella.
That doesn't narrow it down. The Harvest Corporation grows a third of the soybeans and corn in the entire country. One plant that size, the lab could beat any other. No corporation earns the mega prefix without a little throat cutting. But Harco is about as unsexy as big business can get. Predictable, like the seasons. No one's gonna buy that they had some lab tech murdered because of corporate greed. Had she adjusted well to her job?
Yeah, they loved having her there.
She never mentioned arguments or disputes? Corporate politics getting wrong?
I don't think so. Not like I've been a good listener lately. I never got the impression that she... Look, no one I know could do this to her. And there's nothing she could have done that would deserve... what happened to her.
This long shot will be very disgruntled character could not pass the shift label too. With no other suspects, they can't just reshuffle the detective's suspicions. I'll have to disprove their argument entirely. But thank you, Carlos. That was very helpful.
It was?
Now, I'd like you to try and tell me whatever you can about what happened.
Oh.
Start at the beginning and take your time. The details are important.
Alright, Miss,
Morgan.
I'll try Morgan.
When you're ready.
We were arguing. We had been arguing a lot lately. Arguing about stupid stuff. I have been working, have been making money. Have been pulling my weight. I was mad at myself. But more than I was jealous of her. Jealous over nothing. Jealous over goddamn money.
The reports say you were arguing around 8.
8? Yeah, must have been when we started. We got into it and I said a lot of things I shouldn't have. I've said one thing that I really, really shouldn't have. I crossed the line, and we both knew it, so I left.
You left?
Yeah, walked out the front door. Thought some fresh air might help cool me off. Help me figure out what to say to make it up to her. Of course, the air wasn't fresh, just humid, thick like mud. And while I was pissing away the time, Diane was...
Did you bring your phone with you or any other electronics?
No. I kinda stormed off. Didn't even take my key fobs. Didn't even lock the door behind me.
With optics down, traffic and street level cameras won't help them. That leaves. Did you go through a checkpoint or talk to anyone with blotted eyes? Did you buy anything? Cash or credit?
No. Not even a vending machine.
Not even a damn vending machine, huh? I may have met my match. Anyone be this unlucky? That's quite unfortunate.
I just wanted quiet at the time. Wanted to wallow in it, really. Sorry if I don't have all the details quite right. My head is... But if my exact route would help, the cams probably... What? What is it? Optics was what? Can that even happen?
And there's no other proof that you were out at the time Diane was killed. Meaning you got no alibi.
This isn't... This can't... Listen, I didn't do this. I couldn't.
Carlos. I'm the one person you don't have to try and convince. After all, you're a lawyer. So let's just get it all out there and see what we've got to work with.
Right.
Now, you said you left to clear your head. So what made you come back?
I came back because I heard a noise. A loud noise. Didn't know what it was. But it was loud, and it scared me. And it came from the direction of our apartment. And I was walking back at first. Then at some point I must have started running. Because when I got back I was so out of breath. And when I saw that the front door was open, something dropped in my chest and my lungs wouldn't...
You live on the first floor, right?
Yeah. First floor apartment. Street facing entrance. We were proud of that when we first moved in. Like it was some kind of big deal. From the hallway I saw her, but I didn't realize. I never thought that she was... The lights were off. The whole room was a mess. I thought we had been robbed, or she had fallen, or... There was broken glass, furniture knocked over. And she was... I called her name, and she didn't move. I checked her pulse. She was still warm. Her blood was warm. And I saw...
A gun.
It looked so heavy, but I thought it had to be fake because I didn't want it to be real.
Is that why you picked it up?
What? Pick it up? I didn't touch the thing. I didn't shoot her, damn it.
Doing what I do. A lot of lies. White lies, blatant lies, hasty lies, bad ones, especially. For me, it's always been easy to spot a lie, but it can be hard to know what to do about it. I have all the proof I need in my files, but I'm nervous and defensive. None of this works if he doesn't trust me. Stay up to date on the details of evidence by checking on your phone. If your clients notice that you don't know what you're talking about, they'll stop giving you any credit. You did touch the gun, Carlos. That's just a fact, because fact that your fingerprints are on that gun.
What? But I didn't do this. I didn't. I wasn't thinking. I was just...
Carlos, all I'm saying is that you picked it up. That's all.
Would you believe me if I said I didn't realize it was a gun?
That explains how Stevens got on the gun. Not in a way that would satisfy the police. Still, all he did was hold the gun.
So stupid. I know what a gun looks like. But seeing it in my own home, right in front of...
You were in shock, Carlos. Still are.
The police came in some time after that. I don't remember much of what they said. Things started moving fast, it seemed like. The rest of my night went probably the way you'd expect.
Carlos, you admit to having a verbal argument with Diane, but you said you were surprised to see the room trashed when you got back. To clarify, you were saying that you two never had a physical fight.
What physical? We never fought. We never fought like that. Did the police say we did?
They assumed as much. Which means they also assumed the room was disheveled well before the shooting occurred. Considering what Carlos was told, what else did they assume?
What is it?
I'd like you to take a look at something for me. The crime scene.
Oh.
It's an AR module built from the data taken as the police entered, so...
Right, it's just that.
It's just data, Carlos. No grisly details.
Okay. Let me see it.
Take your time.
Alright. I think I've got it.
That's how the police found things. Now close your eyes and think back to how the room looked when you left. Try and focus on what's out of place.
Alright.
I'll take notes. You just say whatever comes to mind.
I don't remember exactly where everything was. But, well, the mirror was upright, of course. And that the clock was still on the wall. The chair got knocked over at some point, and the bed got tossed, cushions torn, and the urn fell. Other than that... No, sorry. That's all that stands out to me.
I see. Like so? What's wrong? Something out of place? Carlos, you need to trust your instincts. If anything seems off, don't be afraid to speak up.
It's just, I guess I just assumed your notes would be making edits to the AR?
Well... No?
Ow, my ears. Sorry, I didn't mean... I think your drawing was pretty good, considering...
I'd like to change the subject now, Carlos.
Right.
Let's talk about the letter that was found on your neck.
Letter? What do you mean?
I mean this letter here. Do you recognize it? Because the police are calling it a confession.
Confession? But this is just a note to self.
Pardon?
Look, when we fight, I lose my temper. Say things I didn't mean to. So this morning I tried writing things down so I'd have a script to stick to. So I could apologize to her instead of just fighting with her.
Carlos, you say in the note that you hurt them.
That's I broke her fidget tubbies.
What? What?
Her fidget tubbies. They're these collectible ceramic character things. They're supposed to be like tactile. You can use them as paperweights or conversation starters.
Conversation starters?
She loved those little things. They're not worth a damn. You can just buy them at any flea market or garage sale, but they meant a lot to her. And I broke them. I mean, I was pissy at the time, but that goddamn piece of shit rental arm, I hardly know where I'm swinging half the time. Got so angry that I just ripped it off and tossed it in my room. That cheap, dusty, worthless.
Okay, let's say he did break her frigid duckies with his replacement arm. What does that change? Nothing at the moment. There's not enough detail in the note for me to prove what his intent was when he sat down and wrote it. But if the police insist on claiming it's a confession from the Heartbreak killings anyway.
Couldn't even bother to sweep them up. Felt so...
Alright, Carlos, thanks for answering my questions. Now I'm going to call the police back in here and I'm going to get this cleared up for you.
What? That's it?
That's it.
Oh. Okay.
Although, before I do that, I do have to ask. What do you know about the Heartbreak killer?
Heartbreak? You mean that psycho that was trending all month? I mean, as much as anyone, I guess? I haven't been getting out much, but... I'm sure everyone's on edge. A guy like that out there... shoots people. Through the heart, right?
The police have kept the victim's appearances far away from any upstanding news sources. So unless he was already following the murders, Carlos wouldn't have noticed any resemblance to his girlfriend.
I mean, she was shot in the chest, but that's just... That doesn't mean anything, does it?
If he's this slow on the uptake, it's gonna be a real shock when those officers walk in here and accuse him of being a serial killer. I'll just have to squash that theory. Quickly and definitively as possible. Okay, I'm speculating here. Is she the Heartbreak killer?
No. You have to click.
Not clicking.
Dots. I didn't realize you can smoke in here.
Technically, I can smoke wherever I want. For a fee.
I guess so.
Nervous? Don't be. I'm the one who's on the clock.
Right. I'm sure this isn't your first time doing this.
No, of course not. It will be my first homicide defense, though.
Uh-oh.
Why does everyone always think the first time's so goddamn great? Hey, cheer up! I got relevant evidence in other areas. Oh, experience! I meant experience.
Oh. And, what areas are those?
You ever gamble, Carlos?
No, ma'am, I never go anywhere near loot boxes.
Hmm.
Won't touch the stuff.
Based. I meant more like playing.
Oh, well then, no to that too. I've actually got pretty terrible luck.
Could have fooled me. Well, what I do is a lot like poker, Carlos. Poker's nice because even if you're dealt nothing but crap all night long, you can still win. Which makes things pretty fun.
Okay, so, do you have good poker face?
I like to think so.
And are you lucky?
Only when the stakes are high.
And, in this metaphor, we're playing poker? And the state's the dealer?
If only. No, the state's more like the house.
You mean like the house always wins?
Yes. They're very good at it. Winning, I mean. That's why they're up here, and we're down here. That's why they're the house.
So what do we do?
We play the cards we're dealt as best we can. Win more hands than we lose. Keep it up, and eventually, someone will come over and tap the dealer on the shoulder and whisper something in their ear. And then we'll be politely asked to leave.
That doesn't sound very triumphant.
The house always wins. So our definition of victory is more like, don't lose.
Thanks, Morgan. But I guess I was more asking, like, what should I say?
Just leave all the talking to me.
So that's the strategy. What's up?
You know there's a saying about gamblers and strategies. Yo, ready to confess yet? Because I already woke up the DA. Already? She must be new. The district attorneys have final say on whether or not a case is brought to trial. Only fair, since they're the ones who end up having to actually prove the damn thing. Most of them prefer simple guilty pleas over long, protracted trials. They all dislike having their time wasted. Unfortunately, then, you'll have to call them back. Because my client is not guilty. And frankly, I'm not even sure you have enough to hold him here.
Right. What she said.
You've got a weird sense of humor, counselor. Different generations, I guess. Before my time, kind of thing. I'm very serious when it comes to defending a man's innocence, detective.
Counselor, we have your client's written confession.
His written confession, let's start there.
Okay, well...
We'll be happy to! The thrust of every argument starts with the facts, what's already known and agreed upon. Public knowledge for every player at the table. It's pretty simple, counselor. Real paint by numbers stuff. See, we found a note in his apartment with his fingerprints on it, apologizing for how he hurt them all so bad. Now, how are you planning on spinning that? Those are the facts. But I've been building up my hand all night. Now I got the weapons to answer anything they try to throw at me. Well, my client did write that note, and it was an apology. But not for murder. He was apologizing for... So, analyze the facts as they're laid out and thumb through the response in your hand. Try to drop the card that best fits. Right? You can mouse over your opponent for a reminder on what the point is. Sweet. Oh, this stuff.
Yep.
You're simply apologizing for this. Now, is that? I found myself asking that exact same question.
What are we looking at here? Something from the crime scene?
This diagram of the room, created from data you captured, right?
Pure, non-GMO, augmented reality crime scene data. Yeah.
What's not GMO?
Not much these days.
Notice anything out of place? Yeah, the whole room's full of busted shit. It's the scene of the murder. Full of busted shit for sure. But I was more referring to the unidentified ceramic debris found on the western side of the room. Tell us that.
Ceramic debris, huh? Must have been from the vase that got tossed.
Actually, that's not possible.
Oh?
Because that vase... Wow. It's not possible for that debris to have come from the vase. Because that vase is still pristine. How is that?
How is that possible? Possible.
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 Possible. I'm clicking here.
The lady at the garage sale told me that was so old and delicate. Damn it, the one time I tried thrift shop on my own.
Well, so what? What does it even matter?
If the vase doesn't have a scratch on it,
Then the debris must have come from somewhere else. That debris is what my client wrote that apology over. You're saying that confession was his apology for not vacuuming? I am, because that pile of rubble is all that remains of the victim's collection of Fiji Bob. Fiji attack.
fidget tubbies.
What he said. Mr. Fladd broke the victim's ceramic figures by accident, and this impassioned note to self was just his attempt at scripting out an apology.
Can you prove that?
We're taking this seriously? As much as we wish we could. What agreement that my client broke that note? And we can all plainly see that there's ceramic debris in the crime scene. Now, since it couldn't have come from the vase, it must have come from the collectible. Simple, right? The hell are you on about? The entire room was trashed, as the arcs clearly shows. Those bitchy tuppies must have gotten pulverized during the struggle, too. You really gonna claim you sat down to write an apology for breaking her toys after gunning her down? Not a bad train of thought, but I can do better. No, those collectibles were destroyed much earlier than that, and there's proof. Okay. Weapon. Oh, this thingy. Just take a closer look at the rental you took into custody. Huh? One swipe of your finger should show exactly how devastating it was to the Fickle Buddy ecosystem. It's fidget tubbies. Whatever. You did take it into custody. I'm sure your techs found ceramic debris on it, yes?
Now that you mention it.
Fine, whatever. He broke them with his arm. While he was killing her. See? Overjoyed.
Because even the cheap arms got an operating system that the last time it was worn, right?
Right.
See, I happened to spot a footnote on the lab report. It said that rental had been used since the AM.
Whose side are you on, old man?
It's gotten pretty late, Sunshine. Just trying to save us all some time where I can.
Well, thank you for your service. Are you seriously buying this crap? Just look at how sprawled, how panicked that note is. You expect like me to believe he was that upset over a fidget tubby collection? One that hasn't even been graded? Setting aside Detective Reyes' surprising depth of knowledge when it comes to collectibles, you're correct. They held no real monetary value. It would be odd for Carlos to be so shaken over the thought. But so what? So what? After all that, that's not panic you're seeing on that page. No, the only reason that note looks the way it does is because Carlos... Because Carlos is right-handed.
Yes, I am. Did they not know that? Shouldn't that be on my permanent record or something?
So the reason why that note looks like a silent wall scribbles is just because he had to use his left hand to write it.
I tend to think better writing than typing. And I need to get used to using my left anyway. And I just thought it'd be good practice. Taking that into account, alongside the ceramics.
Your slam dunk confession is looking about as watertight as a fishnet. Okay, fine, forget about the confession. Congratulations, counselor. You've established that your client's remorseless. Now let's get back to the reality of the situation. Here are the facts. We found your client at the scene of the crime, wearing a coat covered in the victim's blood, right next to a big old goddamn gun that just so happened to have his fingerprints on it. That's right, that coat is... What, you gonna claim it's not his? That he actually wears an extra small? He's trying to bait me in a typical low-key fashion. As the arguments flow, you won't always have a strong hand. Sometimes the best you can do is hold your tongue and avoid overcommitting. Take as little damage as possible and wait for a more favorable chance. She must have something. No sense playing into it. Something you'd like to ask me, Detective? I'm just curious. What'll it be next? You're gonna tell me he actually wears an extra small?
So
okay.
So this is like...
we only have the option to just stay. He doesn't wear an XXS.
So like either you try to confront them or you just don't say anything.
So I'm just gonna stay, yeah. Gee, Carlos, do you?
No.
Yeah? Sure there's no evil twin you've forgotten to mention?
Stay again.
No, I'm afraid not. Not even gonna go for a mysterious third party as the scene of the crime? To prove his innocence, I'll need to get there eventually. But going there now without hard evidence...
Keep staying.
I have no evidence of a third person at this time. Damn right you don't. It's clear as day in the arts. No evidence of anyone but Carlos being there that night. So keep dreaming. It was obvious she had something there. I wasn't gonna win that hand either way. But at least I didn't overstep to get the damage that I had to. We're not contesting any of that, Detective. My client freely admits to holding that gun. He picked it up in confusion after coming home to find a brutal crime scene. Which was not smooth.
Hey.
But not illegal either. And that's all. He had her blood all over his clothes. Yes, he did.
Right.
Do you have those clothes on hand, by the way?
The lab finished with them a while ago.
What are you getting at? It'll be easier just to show you. Would you mind getting them for me? You know what? Sure, I could use the fresh air. This stinks of bullshit in here anyway.
And here I thought the room smelled like... Psst. Morgan. What are you doing? My coat's covered in her blood. I remember that much. So doesn't that, like, make me look really bad?
Just relax, Carlos.
I'm pretty sure that's impossible.
Hear it. And better things have more evidence will always help you.
Really?
Really? Not really.
Warned to have some people in prison. People with bad luck. Bad lawyers.
Oh, hold on, wait, hold on. Let me just turn you up for a second. For some reason,
Yeah, that would.
like, you sound really quiet, but there's no background noise anymore.
Yeah, that's just my good old laptop speaker for you.
Okay, hold on. I think I can turn you up on the Discord.
Coolio.
Alright, that should work.
People shouldn't count on the
Oh my
truth
god,
for that.
you sound normal. Oh my god. It's a miracle.
Wow.
More often than not, it takes coaxing.
Huh. What was it that it reminded me of?
Alright, here it is. One bloodstained jacket, fresh from the lab. So what's your angle? You gonna tell us this is actually just hot sauce? No. That would be silly. Just takes like another bite out of it. No, this just tastes like blood.
My favorite drink! She actually thought it over.
So what the hell's your point? Hey. Sorry, just got thrown off by the turn of good fortune. What good fortune? You should thank the detective for bringing you your jacket, Carlos. She's just proven your innocence. My client was arrested for wearing this coat. He would have been wearing it at the time of the murder. It has the victim's blood on it, who we know died when she was shot in the heart by a gun that happened to be an old world pre-tagged firearm. And so this coat proves he couldn't have been the shooter. Is there a gas leak in here? In what world does that make any sense? Sense happens to be the key here. I just need to draw their attention to what they can. Okay. So the coat, what you can smell on the coat, feel on the coat. Okay, if this is an old revolver, here's my train of thought. Would there be gunshot residue on that jacket?
Yes, because it's a old-timey revolver
Right.
that's being used.
So it's probably when you... wait. Okay, are they going to be specific about this? Is that you can smell the gunpowder or when you can see the gunpowder?
You cannot see gunpowder with your naked eye.
So it would be smell.
Yes. Like burn marks.
Just do me one favor, detective. Tell me what you smell.
Take a little sniff.
Come, Gordon, sniff. I don't smell anything except dried blood. Exactly. The coat smells like blood, but it doesn't smell of...
Cigarettes. That's what I've been smelling.
Yes, Detective London, I was smoking earlier. Did you rejoin the conversation?
I've been listening. You want me to smell the jackets?
If you would.
Let's see. I hurt myself doing that. No gunpowder.
What? What about gunpowder? Oh, don't blame yourself for not noticing. This was before your time. You can't be more than a few things older than me. But not before your partners, it seems.
Huh.
See, gunpowder is weak by today's standards, but it's still volatile stuff. Hard to store.
The twister is coming back.
I've been repossessed. Fuck. And when it goes bang, it leaves behind an awful lot of evidence. The hell was she talking about, London?
Modern firearms like the one we carry use electricity, magnetism, even air pressure or sound waves. They've got more accuracy, more firepower, less recoil, less noise. And they don't leave behind any residue.
Gunpowder residue. You talk my ear off about how difficult it is tracking down a gun that doesn't leave digital traces. But a revolver like this one, it'll leave gunpowder on the skin of whoever fired it for days. So then his coat. If you don't trust your noses, you can check the lab reports. I think if they found any gunpowder on my client or his clothes, they have taken the time to highlight it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. That just means he washed off after shooting her, or he changed his clothes. That's not impossible, but it would be pretty pointless. Huh? His jacket and his left hand were blood-soaked when your officers found him. Would he really go through all the effort just to get rid of something as subtle as gunpowder residue? Just to get the victim's blood all over himself again? In light of these details, I'd like to formally request that you reconsider the charges Mr. Flapp's facing. As soon as
Whoa.
Small check. Just topple over any moment. The letter was mostly icing on the cake for them. That gun is all they had to link Carlos to any of the shootings. So it looks like he never actually fired the gun. I'll admit, things were a little dicey there at times. But once I was able to grasp the situation, the smaller pieces fell into place pretty easily enough. Not my cleanest work by far, but overall I'd say... Did she get a message?
I am seeing Undertale go into my eye. Wait, did they actually manage to find it?
Something you'd like to share, Detective Reyes? Sure, twisting the truth into knots, making the facts work for you. Thanks. But your luck just ran out. Because the net scrubbers found a cam active at the exact moment of the shooting. And right now, I'm staring at the photo of the killer. That's the photo of the shooter. If she had that, we wouldn't still be talking. But I doubt she's just pulling this out of her ass. She's got something with scrubbers. Now we raise... That's a bold bluff for this late in the game, Detective. Especially when we both know there was an optics blackout during the shooting. Well, that's just it. This isn't from optics. I should have figured she wouldn't make a claim that bold, but something to back it up.
Yeah, you should probably like highlight just to see what the exact sentence they're gonna say is first.
Oh, okay.
Because like, yeah, because it says like, oh, she must be bluffing. Or it's like, oh no, like it because Stang would have been like from where or something like that.
Yeah, that's my bad.
You're
Party's over,
stupid.
counselor. You get the dumbass award. Feast your eyes on this. Well, okay, the quality is lacking. And yet, there it is. They managed to find a quarter needle of evidence in a whole city block of haystacks. What are the goddamn chances? No, the scale their tools operate on. I guess the chances are, as always, in their favor. Alright, this isn't good. Wait a second, that clock is reversed, isn't it?
It says 9 o'clock.
Okay, I swear to God, if that clock was reversed anyways, I was prepared for some, like, investigations, like, level-ass plot twist.
No, the time of death is 9 o'clock. Time of death was 9 o'clock, and it says 9 o'clock.
Alright, this isn't good, but it's a far cry from the worst case scenario I envisioned. Could even say I got lucky, which means the stakes are... Well, it's a little bit...
blurry.
Don't look at me, I didn't take a damn thing. Technically, no one took it.
It was a ghost.
Looks like at the time of the shooting, a neighbor was on their phone.
Probably venting about how the crazy couple across the way was acting. But if their phone was on, its camera would be on.
And so we managed to get this shot through the window. Where to begin? Far away, unfocused, ultra-low resolution, zoomed in, blurred, color shifted, and so compressed it looks like it's from another century. There are tools that could enhance this image any further, and I couldn't count the pixels on one hand. And you could kiss its admissibility in the court goodbye.
There she is.
I had to squint at that one. You can't honestly claim that you can identify my client from this image. And there's no way in hell you could get this past a judge.
Yeah, you're probably right. We couldn't. But I think I know a DA that could. Either way, it doesn't seem like your client's leaving this police station anytime soon. The photo. What the hell is happening to me?
Think I know a DA that could? Don't be so modest, old man. We have photo evidence of a left-handed shooter standing in the hallway at the same time the whole neighborhood heard a gunshot. And who do we know had their left-hand fingerprints all over that gun? You're referring to my client. You think? We've established he wasn't wearing his modded arm at all tonight, so he must have shot with his left. Yes, and we've also established that he's weak with his left side. A left side that had no gunpowder whatsoever.
Forensics will never be perfect, counselor. Sometimes we miss things. Sometimes you take a walk through the rain, and when you finally get to where you're going, you'll somehow end up dry. That's not how rain works. But that doesn't mean it didn't rain. All of which is to say, before judge or jury, photographic evidence outweighs a failed sniff test.
I know, but that photo shows a left-handed shooter. Carlos is innocent. That photo is real. It's true. And that means that photo doesn't show what it appears to show. So, at a loss for words? Never. I'm just confused about one thing. Where was this photo taken from exactly?
Exactly. Positional data is usually only accurate to the nearest public router. If we de-anon the phone's owner and ask them where...
Why bother with any of that? Ballistics and common sense tell us that the perp shot from the room's doorway. The front entrance of the apartment faces to the south. There's a hallway that runs back to the bedroom. We're looking straight at the shooter, so it's pretty obvious that this is taken from across the north window. From the north? If this is from the north, then why can we clearly see the... It's not complicated. The neighbor who got the shot must live on the other side of the street. So we're looking into the bedroom from the north window. If she's wrong, I should seize on the opportunity to start turning the tide.
So make sure to highlight both, like either
right. She's right, the photo was taken from the north. She's wrong, the photo was taken from the west. Can I look at that image again?
Yeah, evidence. Crime scene map. I guess if you just want to like look again. So they're
okay,
saying
so
that it was taken
coming
from behind the
over.
mirror. They're saying from the north to take a view at the door in the killer.
That doesn't make sense because the mirror would be concealing the window, yeah?
Yeah. Now, well, you can take a look back at the photo because that's been added.
Right. Right. So this is the mirror reflection then? Maybe? Especially when you can only see... It has to be from... Huh. There's only... Okay, so there's a window here. Is this like a touch screen or another window?
There are two windows, one behind the mirror and one to the west.
Right, so those are the only mirrors.
Cause like yeah, because you can see light going through them, but yeah, no. Yeah. Go with your call.
What's the map? That clock is over there?
Yeah, near the door.
Okay, I feel like it's wrong, yeah?
Yeah, raise.
Okay, how the fuck do I get out?
I'm sorry, I'm stuck on my phone.
Give me a second, let me save my game in case I quit by accident.
Yeah.
Okay, how the fuck do I get out my phone?
Click off of it.
Lock phone?
Sure. That makes sense. Raise.
Okay, good. I'm afraid that's simply not possible, Detective. This photo has to have been taken from the west. What kind of flood was that supposed to be? The good detectives are misinformed here, and I need to take advantage of it. Time to press the initiative. The hell do you mean this was taken from the west? The autopsy tells us the victim was shot from the doorway. Your officer's ARCS data tells us the precise location of everything in the room at the time they arrived. And now your photo has shown us the exact moment of the shooting. And you can now raise the ante on a hand up to the current math. Answer wrong and you'll lose more credit, but answer correctly. And you can back up more credit for the trickier hands down the line. And altogether, that tells us that this photo must have been taken through the west window. As long as you consider... Yeah, the mirror was up right before it was shot.
No, don't hold it. Before you do that, don't click on the heart.
The heart?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So like, keep raising it, and like that, like you're essentially saying like, how confident are you in your answer right now?
Ah, okay.
So
I'd say like
the sketch, yeah.
That's a pretty good yeah. Just take one look at the clock in that photo. The clock? What about it?
The clock, huh?
Seems like London's got an idea. If he's mistaken, I could pounce on it to keep my tempo high.
This photo was taken right before the shooting, so... Wait, don't tell me the time of death is wrong. It's not. No, well, the time is not wrong. It's correct.
He's wrong with him. That's correct. That's a good question, Detective London. But the answer is no. The autopsy, the clock, and the neighbors all agree. The time of death was 9 p.m.
Right. No mistaking that.
So then what the hell were you on about? There's a clock on the wall in this photo, analog style. And it reads 9 o'clock. 9 p.m., the time of the shooting. The hell's so special about that? Nothing. There's nothing odd about the time of the clock reads, but do you remember there being a clock in the room? What?
Actually, I don't recall there being a clock.
That makes sense. You wouldn't recall seeing it. Because when the police secured the scene, the clock had already been knocked onto the floor. And the only clock in that room is in the northeastern corner. And my client has informed me that before the crime, it was hung up on the eastern wall. Like so. What the hell is that supposed to be? An artistic rendition?
It's, very distinct.
If you had information on how the crime scene was before the shooting, why didn't you just add that to the art? Show you my hand? Just because discovery law compels us to share info, doesn't mean we have to play fair detective. Slip my mind. I'll do that now. The important thing is, if that clock was on the eastern wall before the shooting occurred,
Then this photo, we must be looking through the western wall to see it.
don't start getting ahead of yourself. The victim was shot at 9 p.m., the same time that this photo was taken of the shooter. But you want to claim that that clock's still on the eastern wall when it would have been knocked down during the fighting. You've got your logic backwards, detective. Your precious photo shows that the room was pristine at the time of shooting. And there's one other piece of evidence that proves exactly how the cards fell. Okay, so that room was trashed before the shooting. Trashed the revolver, the glass. So there's something that proves that the room
The room was clean when she died, and then things were broken after.
This. I knew it. It's
You wanna up your ante again?
Yeah. It's always the glass shards. It happened with Layden Brothers' Mystery Room. It happened again here.
And then also in Danganronpa 1, Case 4.
Glass shards? What about them? Nothing much, really. Only that they're on top of the victim's body. And not under it. If the glass fell on top of the victim's body, that would mean that she was dead on the ground before the room got trashed. But
that doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone trash the room afterwards?
That's a good question, Carlos. Luckily, it's the detectives who have to delve into the minds of the criminally insane, not us. Tell me, detectives, were there any signs of a struggle at other crime scenes?
Other crime scenes? No, nothing like that. Those attacks would have been over in a matter of seconds.
So what did you think when you saw the mess in the bedroom? That this was personal, and things had gotten complicated. Shit happens. Shit does happen, detective. But in this case, it seems that there's been a general misconception about the order in which shit happened. So what if the room didn't get tossed over until afterwards? He still shot her! And we have a photo right here. And I'm glad you do, detective, because that photo proves my client's innocence. Huh? Proving that it wasn't my client who pulled the trigger is difficult, and maybe more importantly for all of us, time-consuming. Thanks to your photo, I can instead prove that it couldn't have been my client who pulled the trigger. Because the man in that photo can't possibly be Carlos. Like hell it can't! The glass shards prove that the room was pristine at the time of the shooting. And we know that until the room was tossed. That clock was on the eastern wall. Which means that this photo of the shooter was taken from the west. Back to this shit, that's impossible! The only hallway in that apartment runs from the north to south. The only person with prints on that gun is your client. And the only fact that matters is that he used it to murder 6 innocent people. You're a very honest person, Detective. Excuse me? That's why you're such a shitty gambler. You played your cards too early, and now I can steal the pot right out from under you. You're right about the hallway's orientation. You're right about the prints. And this HK figure has claimed 6 lives. But we aren't looking at the hallway in that photo. What? What we're seeing is... Okay, photo of the shooter.
It's a picture of the fidget tubbies.
Cut. Digital. The ceramic. Oh.
Anyways, yeah, I lied, so you know what it is. If
It is. Wait, is it actually a reflection?
Yes, I don't get it, but it is.
God damn it, I fucking called it.
Because like the thing is, okay, I admittedly did not know how it was the clock at first, because like the hands would have been backwards, but apparently no, it's only the photos, like half of it is the mirror and half of it is the clock on the wall.
Oh, that's stupid.
I know. I was like, I'm trying to picture in my mind, like, how would this be oriented if this is like, where would the mirror be in order to get the reflection of the hallway? And like the clock and the mirror are both in the same picture if you're viewing it from the west. So it's just very strange to me.
Yeah, okay, let's see how the game explains this. What is that? You're trying the glass shards again? Sort of. By the way, do you recall where those glass shards came from? Yeah, sure, they came from a standing mirror. A mirror that, at the time of the shooting, stood across the room from the western window. But then, that would mean...
At that angle, from that viewpoint.
It would reflect the hallway. So we're not seeing a shooter with a gun in their left hand. We're seeing a killer take aim with their right arm.
Cause like, okay, you see that the clock is... No, wait, it flipped the... Oh, okay, no, it just flipped the picture, because now it says it's 3.
Hey, what if it's the clock hands?
Because she died at 9. That's undisputable.
What if these are just the same, like, length of the clock hands and, like, this part of the graphic is just obscuring that?
That would not make sense. Because 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock.
Okay, but, like, hear me out. If, like, their reasoning is that like, if the clock hands were the same length, when it's mirrored, it would look like 3 o'clock. Or just 9 o'clock.
If you reflect 9 o'clock, that's 3 o'clock. I don't get that.
Oh.
Mirrors should be banned from all crime scenes. Or all mystery novels.
Whenever, like, I see, like, emphasis on, like, someone shooting with their left or right hand, like, I immediately start to
nonchalantly pointed at me with their right hand.
Literally. And, as we all know, my client hasn't had a working right arm in a number of weeks.
He's not alright at all.
And he hasn't worn his rental since this morning. So, I meant what I said about that photo. I'm glad that it was recovered. Because it just proves that my client couldn't possibly have committed this crime. That should be the end of it. Except, it looks like Detective Reyes really is a novice gambler. Some cost has gotten its teeth in her now, lying over her spine, whispering wounded pride in her ear. It's a cold sweat, hot palms kind of fever. The impotent, irrational fury of losing something you thought was guaranteed yours. But lucky for you, Detective, I'm well versed in shock therapy. You look dissatisfied, Detective Reyes. That's one word for it. Then allow me to put a nice bow on everything for you. Summary? Oh, this shit is like Danganronpa.
Yeah, but this is automatic.
My client's so-called confession was just a note to self. The police found him in shock, reeling at the death of his girlfriend, and arrested him for being next to a gun he forensically couldn't have fired. After being confronted with these facts, he received photographic evidence of the exact moment of the shooting, and instead of utilizing said photo to track down the real killer, he tried to claim it depicted my client, a man without a requisite limb, standing in an architecturally impossible hallway. That's... He couldn't have had a backup arm. He could have had a backup arm. He could have stolen one. A little stubbornness can be charming, but this kind of desperation is ugly. It's getting late. Time to bare my fangs.
Oh my god, you are a vampire!
She is a vampire.
Oh, you shot her!
That's the best you got. Even a bare-bones prosthetic off the black market needs to be attuned to an individual's nervous system. He'd have to bring it into a clinic, which would have left a record in his shoulder OS. A record you won't find. And he'd still have to somehow have gotten rid of it before the police arrived. SOP at the scene of a violent crime calls for full spectrum scanning of the entire building and 100 meters around it, minimum. So where, Detective Reyes, did he manage to hide a cybernetic arm from your drones in the time between the shooting and his arrest? Well... Any objections? Detective? God damn it!
Show me your hand, Flats. You're uncuffing me? In light of the evidence, we have no reason to hold you.
Now, I'm telling I made a mistake.
Not we made a mistake, huh? Listen, kid, you should know.
Detective?
Lost my train of thoughts. But hey, your attorney's a real tiger. Just fought like hell for you. Make sure to thank her properly. Public defense doesn't pay that well. Yeah.
Kind of you to say, Detective. But my work is its own reward.
Sure. I feel exactly the same, Counselor. What happens now?
I'll have to speak with the DA about the dismissal. And there's still some paperwork we'll need to go through. But basically, you're free to go. Congrats! You get to leave the casino with your kneecaps intact.
Yay? But what am I supposed to do?
The detectives will continue their investigation.
Their investigation into Heartbreak, huh?
Yes. When the authorities are satisfied with their examination of the body, she'll be handed over to the next of kin. And then you can make funeral arrangements.
No, that's not what I... Diane being gone is bad enough. But the serial killer? That's like she died of the flu. It just doesn't happen anymore.
People die of the flu all the time, but... I know what you mean.
I can't make sense of it. So what am I supposed to do?
Oh, if I know. there are some contacts I could give you. Services, professionals, doctors.
No. You've done more than enough for me. When you got here, I was too tired to even defend myself. I tried to convince them that I didn't. You saved me. Thank you.
Welcome, Carlos. But it's my job to...
No. I mean, thank you for not asking.
Hmm?
For not asking if I killed her.
Oh, Carlos. I didn't need to ask. I knew you were innocent from the start. Of course he was. After all. Yeah, I fucking called it.
That's it?
The blood's always different. Heart's always in the same place. Easy to find. Hard to miss. But the blood's always different. A flowering stain, unfurling towards an invisible sun. A perfectly unique bloom. Only one for each of us. A Rorschach test with singular universal meaning. Vitality at its climax. Bursting forth into a red fractal consisting solely of an infinite the end. But the comical thud of a body hitting the floor is its own kind of lowbrow appeal. Oh, it actually shows you what happened. Bullet number 6 of 6. The gun's empty. It's useless to me now. May as well leave it. Feels like a waste, but whatever. Finding the ammo was almost enough of a hassle to outweigh the advantages. I could sell an untapped gun for a fair bit of cash. But cash can't buy you peace of mind. Oh, don't look surprised, lady. Moping around the dark in here, I must have only been able to see my silhouette. Did she think I was her boyfriend? Back for an encore of that enthralling conversation. Can't ask her now.
Hey. Yeah, hear that?
These old pieces are so goddamn loud. People aren't even familiar enough with the sound anymore to know to run the other way. Probably roused half the neighborhood. But I didn't see anything I could use as even a partial suppressor on the way in. Could they really not afford some throw pillows? I used the other 5 bullets in outdoor spaces, in small spheres of blind opportunity that the city's eyes couldn't think to pierce. Cramped places, usually full of trash. But this room, cheap as it looks, is at least clean, organized even. So the corpse adds a certain satisfying contrast. Except, there's shit on the floor. By the window, there are broken pieces of something fragile and tacky. It's fine. It's just one thing out of place. Actually, it's not fine. It's actually really irritating. Kick over the stupid goddamn mirror. 5 perfect crime scenes. Each of them not a speck of evidence, nothing to go on. And for the final shot, there just has to be some pile of shit in the corner ruining everything. I kick the wall. Something falls from it, probably more tasteless bullshit. I toss over the chair, knock the urn, tear into the sheets of my frustration, and try to saber the shredding. If it can't be clean, I'll just have to lean into the messy angle. At least it'll be consistent. This looks so stupid. Honestly, I'm not the ego-driven type. In fact, I pride myself in my humility. Now, was it satisfying when the first 3 went down with a single shots? Yes. But so what? I'm not made of stone. After that, I did start to actively aim for the heart, but... Ugh. Heartbreak killer. Really? Don't people have anything better to do with their time? What kind of miserable, lifeless warriors would obsess over something that's none of their business? All of the threads and breakdowns and the goddamn theory crafting. And all for the Heartbreak killer. Sounds like a soap opera villain from a season where the writers were on strike. I feel insulted by the label, but no, that's someone else's name. They came up with it. They spread it. They marketed it. Heartbreak's got nothing to do with me. He's just some reclusive, lonely, socially impotent loser who shot 6 people because... Well, I'm not sure people will come up with... Well, I'm sure people will come up with something. That he got rejected one too many times or whatever. Me, I killed those people because I saw them, and I wanted to. And I've killed a lot more than just 6. At least the room is thoroughly trashed now. If I had just walked away after seeing that mess by the window, it would have irritated me to no end. And now that it doesn't match the MOs of the last 5 perfectly, it'll irritate the cops to no end instead. Good riddance, Heartbreak. You enjoy your 15 minutes in the spotlight. Really savor it. I'm going home. The air is weighty tonight. Thick. Energized. A heavily foreshadowed summer rain I can feel on every hair. They call this kind of humidity oppressive, but I disagree. The warm tension on your skin, like in those short moments just after the shower turns off and the steam lingers. Yeah, it's always most comfortable right afterwards. Maybe there's no disagreement to be had. Oppressive things can be comforting too. Only the guilty ones run. I don't know about that, but I know I've never felt guilty about any of this. And I walk.
Sorry, using my left still.
That's okay. You can just initial in those spots. I took a scenic route home, courtesy of our fine city's sprawling public transportation, and got in a bit after 11 p.m. Had myself a thorough shower, drank a glass of milk, did some stretching, made sure my phone was on. Time went by evenly. Around 1:40 a.m., a posting for public defender work came up. Decent rate since it was so late and so urgent. I had wagered correctly on that the boyfriend would have enough sense to ask for a lawyer, and enough debt that he'd need to be provided one. All I had to do was stay awake. There wasn't much competition after 1 in the morning.
Okay, where else?
Here and here. How did I phrase it earlier? Criminal defense attorneys aren't exactly flush with customers. Why wouldn't I take on a job where I already knew more than the cops? It would have been easy to convince Carlos to plead out. I would have gotten paid the same too. But easy is dangerous. Carlos was, of course, innocent, so his conviction would have never been airtight. There would be doubts, questions, appeals, maybe even fans depending on his looks. More attention on HK and his crimes. More headaches. A cold case rotting in the very far back of the public's awareness is always preferable to one open and shut case. Now, with no more murders attaching HK's MO, there won't be any additional public pressure to find the culprit. Now, Heartbreak can just starve to death out of sight and mind like any other fluke in the system. Almost done? Getting involved with the case this intimately does have its risks. Hell, I might have even overdone things here or there. Like lighting up smoke inside an interrogation room, just to make doubly sure I still didn't have a smell of gunpowder myself. That London fellow seems more fixated on it than I would have liked. But obviously, everything turned out rosy. And it's worth it for the finality of it all. Seeing the authorities failing from the best seat in the house, that's just a bonus.
Thanks again, Morgan, for everything. I'm sure Diane is grateful too.
Bonnie, I didn't even know her name. Is something the matter?
No, sorry, it's just... I was mad when I left the apartment. I know she was too. So when she died...
Death was instantaneous, Carlos. I can't imagine that she was in any pain. In fact, I can guarantee she was dead before she hit the ground.
No, I know, but... I just keep thinking that she must have died angry at me. She must have died hating me.
Well, let's see what happens if I do this. To tell you the truth, Carlos, there's something I've been wondering about myself.
Wanna play patty cake? I have one arm. What is
No,
it?
we could just... Well, then, or is it? He just, like, pulls out, like, another one, like, out of hammer space.
What is it?
Something I noticed in the ARC's data that I didn't quite understand. A piece of the puzzle I could have fit in anywhere else. But maybe you can make sense of it. Oh yeah, the pills! What were these about?
What is the... Where did you find that?
The pill organizer was found on the victim. She had it grasped in her hand when she died. Obviously, the police added it to the ARCs, but it was quickly rushed and ruled irrelevant. Seems like it contained this medication prescribed to help. Tripexazone! That's the name of it. I knew it the entire time. What are you talking about? Prescribed to help modders with phantom itches. They're small tablets, and those are tricky class, too, for a pill organizer. Could be hard to handle with an unsteady hand. No one will ever know what she was feeling when she died. Even if they did, feelings are complicated. You can feel angry, happy, and sad all at the same time. But as far as facts are concerned, it would appear that when she died, what she was doing was setting out your medications for the week. To my eyes, anyway. Long night. That was too barked.
So, hold on. So take a look at your phone.
Yeah.
Now go to
will the profile
profiles.
update? Yeah.
So now look at occupation again.
Criminal defense attorney.
Criminal defense attorney.
See, I had after I was listening to those one-off monologues and stuff, I had just remembered when I was reading the Steam page on how it put an emphasis on you need to find a killer defense attorney is like, oh, I know where this is going.
Also the fact that her likes and preferences are different too.
Even. Actually. Lights, okay, occupations, let's get guns. Cannot carry a tune. Hobbies, batting cages.
Yeah, baseball.
Oh yeah. Luck poor. Student debt sizable. Oh yeah, the likes are different.
Yeah, also the fact that It's just so funny how they just added the comma between criminal and defense attorney.
Yeah, I like that. Practically rubbing it in his face. It's not like I care about his feelings. I doubt I'll ever even see him again. But overstepping like that is pure hubris. Hubris invites it down. So why? Why did I even bother? It was the last piece of the puzzle, I suppose. I'll just need to show more restraint next time. Though there won't be a next time for Heartbreak. The gun's in custody. There's no more bullets left. There won't be a 7th victim. There won't be any more leads to pursue. The media will move on to their next obsession. I'll move on to my next demo. And no one will ever...
Found you.
District Attorney Rockford!
Sorry, can I try that again? I'm so fried.
By all means.
Counselor Morgan. Morning, noon, or nights. You're always so put together.
Thank you.
I don't get it. How do you sleep at night?
Pardon?
You do white noise, aromatherapy. Whatever you're doing, I need to steal it.
No one will
God.
ever know.
No one will ever. God. I must have bags under my eyes dark enough for the dumpsters.
Assistant District Attorney Emma Rockford. She's a prosecutor, the lawyer who argues for the state in court, trying to prove a defendant's guilt. And despite her sometimes unkempt appearance, she's probably the sharpest person to fill the position in decades. I should know, since I haven't beaten her once. Worse yet, she has the unremarkable ability to compartmentalize all of that advertisal energy and only bring it out in the courtroom. It's part of what makes her good at her job. And hard for me to read.
Should I buy a new mattress?
What they got you doing at this ungodly hour, Emma?
Oh, well... Actually, I'm here for you. You can check her profile real quick.
Ooh. Hi.
Get that keychain on my face.
Positive. Attorney, coffee, toffee, potty, couture. Sunburn, dead pixels, and ice cream. Eggs, Benedict. Plays, chess, shogi, and idols of stars. Cat person, yes. A woman after my own heart.
Oh, well, actually, I'm here for you. Exactly what you wanted to hear.
Hell yeah. Me?
Your client was a suspect in the Heartbreak killings. That's my case.
Well, then you must have been relieved, finding out that you won't have to go to trial against me.
No? Why would I be worried about going up against you?
It's always the unintended vibes with her. So you're working with those detectives?
Yeah, London and the new girl, Reyes. They've been reporting to me in preparation for the trial.
Preparation for trial? Seems ambitious.
I guess they gave you the rundown. They've been doing everything they can, but... it's hard to catch a killer who leaves behind so little.
It's hard to kill while leaving so little behind. So, Reyes told you they had HK in custody, and you popped out of bed all excited to run down here?
Hardly. I haven't slept in 40 hours. Too much on my mind. So I heard about a case with a single female victim shot through the heart. Yeah, my ears perked up. But that's about all.
Oh?
I mean it. Carlos Flat, a serial killer? The same serial killer that outsmarted the state for weeks?
He's not using his middle name.
He was found with the murder weapon.
But I can answer any number of ways. That have been. And then. No, you. That may be true, but
But then I glanced at the reports.
you glanced at it?
No gunpowder residue on him or his clothes.
You're right.
Too remorseful, too apologetic in that note. Whatever that was about. His dominant arm modded with documented sensitivity issues? Never could have made the shots that clean. Not without getting close enough to leave scorch marks. Not to mention, he's too tall for the ballistic entry angles. And probably too heavy to not leave imprints.
She's got all that on the plans?
But I'm sure a competent lawyer like yourself pointed all that the minute you walked in here.
Of course. The worst part is she's not even being sarcastic.
Yeah, of course it couldn't have been him. Long-term relationship, physically imposing, argumentative, so not the type to bottle things up. He didn't match the profile.
Profile?
Yeah, Right, sorry, you probably never heard of it.
I know what a goddamn profile is.
A profile is a reconstruction of a criminal's psychology based on evidence of their crimes. Kind of fallen out of fashion for the last few decades. Not much need to get what? Oh, not much need to guess about the why when 99 times out of the 100 of the who is caught on camera.
Or before they even leave the house.
I've had to find some real fossils and oddballs to get advice on how to go about it. But I think I'm getting the hang of it.
So this profiling, is it some kind of investigative technique?
The theory is that the crime can tell you something about the nature of the person who committed it. Stabbing, overkill, points to passion, rage, lust. They probably knew their victim. Poisoning guns, meanwhile, suggests they can't overpower their victims physically. And then there's the things you can assume about nearly all serial offenders. Childhood trauma, prior criminal record, few or no meaningful attachments. There's a lot of reoccurring themes in their stories.
The detectives say HK doesn't leave evidence. So how much can his crimes possibly tell you?
That he's diligent, almost perfect. Highly intelligent, painstakingly organized. And with enough criminal connections to get his hands on an untagged firearm?
It's rare to see her this animated outside the courtroom. It's almost like she's enjoying herself. A sheltered house cat who's picked up the scent of a mouse for the first time.
A lone wolf, educated, but
All her playfully lethal instinct into life.
probably overqualified or undervalued.
Though I'm not thrilled about the fact that in that metaphor I would be the...
Know what I mean?
Definitely.
And considering the marksmanship,
The detective said that HK would have needed insider information on optics. So does that mean Heartbreak's in law enforcement?
never in the 10 billion years.
Oh,
Antisocial, independent, despises authority. That'd be like a stallion applying for a job on a merry-go-round. That'd be kicking kids in the head after the first full rotation.
Right, that's exactly how I put it.
There must be some connection to the police, though. Maybe secondary or tertiary? These types can't help but insert themselves.
Insert themselves? I do not I don't do anything even resembling that. Wait, if HK's not a cop, how did they know about the blackout timing?
Crime meta statistics analysis. Probably.
Pardon?
Take the emergency response times from across the city and map them out. Look for brief spikes and delays. Chart the dips in. Sorry. Technical, I know. But all the requisite data is publicly available. With a map, a spreadsheet, a calculator. Anyone could reverse engineer the timing if they wanted to.
That is such an unpleasant thought, Emma. Well, at least this Heartbreak maniac will slow down now that he's lost his weapon.
He didn't lose it. He chose to leave it behind. That tells me he's confident that he can just do fine without it. And it makes me even more certain that these aren't his only kills.
Were there other shootings with the same MO?
No, not that I found.
Other victims that fit the description?
No. But I'm not overly focused on the victim's appearance anyway. I mean, these 6 victims all look like each other, but they also look like a lot of people.
Is she killing people that look like Emma? The brown hair, the brown eyes. Man, this is some, like, Doom Toxic Fury. Fuck yeah. That's true.
Hell. They kind of look like me.
Called it.
Yeah, congratulations. If you just clicked 3 more times.
Do they?
Sure. What, you don't see it?
I hadn't thought about it.
Point is, no one can kill that cleanly when it's their first time. Getting things that perfect takes practice. So I know that HK must have had a lot more than 6 occasions to practice, Morgan. And that's why I think Heartbreak is a misnomer.
Got something catchier in mind?
I just don't think shooting them in the heart has any particular significance. If anything, it's a testament to their accuracy and their cold-blooded efficiency. The best possible use of 6 untagged bullets. 6 kills, guaranteed, no matter what kind of life support mods they were packing. Their real signature isn't the bullets or the gun. It's their perfection.
That's hard to wrap your head around.
I'm saying that these 6 murders were just a fluke. A slip-up.
A mistake?
Exactly, a mistake. They got too clean, too efficient. Now they got the public's attention. It's no wonder they're so pissed.
Are you talking about the crime scene?
Yeah, probably threw the detectives for a loop, right?
Based on what you said, I don't blame them. Whoever trashed that room doesn't seem like a smooth operator you've been describing.
On the contrary.
I don't follow.
This was the last bullet, their last shots. The other 5 were perfect. So if anything was out of place this time around, They must have thrown one hell of a temper tantrum.
You make them sound like a child.
Childish, and cowardly, and two-faced. Someone who hates to lose almost as much as they love to win.
Your profile tell you all that?
That? No. That part's just... takes one to know one.
So, to summarize, you're looking for a cold-blooded, faceless perfectionist killer who you think has no persistent MO or victim type.
In a city with an 8-digit population.
Well, good luck!
I don't need luck. I only need more information.
Well, I'm sure the city would be happy to provide you with more resources.
No, Morgan. I mean I need more crime scenes.
Oh,
Sad truth is, if Heartbreak walked away today, I'd never catch them. Only way to net narrows is if they keep piling up bodies.
not a very fair trade, is it?
No, it isn't. But getting screwed over is a given. It's a deal with the devil.
Fair enough.
Woof. I know, it's just like, woof. I know, it's just like, I don't know, just... Okay, that rant was pretty morbid and detailed. I need to get out more, or sleep more. Or sleep less, but harder. Do you think a higher thread count would help?
Don't worry about it. I'm always happy to listen to you ramble.
Where did you go? You're a ghost.
It's a lot more pleasant than having to face you in the courtroom.
Sorry, but that's the adversarial process. So no hard feelings, yeah?
No hard feelings. We're both just doing what we do.
Huh?
I could use a cup of coffee. How about you?
Don't tempt me.
If you fall asleep face first on the table, I won't even take a picture.
Okay. Just don't expect us to make a difference the next time we're at each other's throats.
Heartbreak won't claim any more victims. In 2 weeks, the media will have moved on to the next sensation. And the police will have moved on to cases they actually stand a chance of closing. That's what people do. But Emma is different. She'll set it aside and work a dozen other cases, never bringing it up. But a private corner of that frustratingly sharp mind of hers will continue to whittle away at it. Never finishing, but never quitting either. So I can't afford to keep my eyes off her. As long as that's the case, I may as well try to enjoy the view.
Which means you're going to be living with my friend for a while.
For how long?
I'm sorry, I don't know. There's no need to look that upset over it.
My face barely moved.
It may as well have been a blatant pout from where I'm sitting. Yeah, like that.
This friend of yours, they're trustworthy?
Absolutely. In fact, I trust them more than anyone. Hey, come on. It'll be fun.
Really?
Really. Educational, too. I think you can stand to learn a lot from someone like Morgan.
Woo!
Yeah. So that be the demo.
That was very nice.
Yeah. And obviously knowing you, you would call twists early.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you get when you have someone who's played Danganronpa late in all that mystery stuff. Smallest person I know, Morgan, when it comes to people. There's always been nut jobs that find the company's work controversial. London's... No, lawyers don't usually show up the clone of London's show up the crime scene this fast. I say that would be a pain in the ass. I never said I could do anything. I said I couldn't do it.
And he's got us set for life, and probably afterwards too.
I'd rather die and keep the shop than to kind of slop those machines compose.
So that's not just a lawyer job thing. He dressed like a doorman on the weekends too.
Compared to the determining faults, determining cause of death is more like a breath of fresh air.
The company has every right to defend itself.
Those laws exist for a good reason, you know. People just like that don't belong in this world.
Father said that you owed him. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. I don't mind. Ooh. I like this backdrop. That's cool.
Yeah.
Can I... Oh, there we go.
You read 2 out of 2 articles, 6 of 6 profiles, 18 key terms, 17 pieces of evidence.
Damn,
That's
I found
not how
one more.
fractions work.
Hot dog. Finished episode 0 with 33 credit. Congratulations, you unlocked the store menu on your phone. Got 33 store credits spent on phone charms and case colors. You've also unlocked concept art and bonus scenarios based on your highest score for episode 0. Ooh! Definitely want to check out the concept art. Oh, this is sick!
Yeah. Poor guy.
Sucker. But yeah, rad art, rad like art direction. Story like seems very like interesting too.
Yep, and just a cool aesthetic too.
Yeah. I'm really liking this like cyberpunk feel, and like the black shading makes me think of stuff like The World Ends With You, which is like very cool. There should be like more games with that like aren't afraid to like include like that like dark shadowing in their art.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The theoretical Heartbreak killer too.
The heart fake killer, I like that.
Yep.
Android girl. Cute.
And bonus scenarios.
Let's see what this.
Ah, just a bunch of some lot of stuff here.
Okay. How about we leave the audience to check this out on their own, because
Yeah.
I'm running short on time.
Yeah, let's just go back to the main menu real quick.
Okay, how...
Phone?
Phone?
Yeah, save, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, there's like a main menu somewhere here.
Profiles, list of game settings, maybe settings? There we go, return as title.
Yeah. And then, now that you saved, you can just like re-access this again. But yeah. That is all the time that we had. It's because, yeah, you have to run short, but get going. But yeah, no. Glad they were able to
Yeah.
get this in one sitting, and that'll essentially just be all for now. And hopefully, when the game comes out, we can probably get some more people in here.
Yeah, that'd be nice. My throat's getting sore, like having to voice like all those people.
Same. Yeah, no, this was fun to do though.
Yeah.
And that way, that'll be all for now, and we'll see you guys later. Yay.
Ciao.